Okay, so let's get right into it. We all have this picture of Las Vegas in our heads, right? The dazzling lights, the nonstop entertainment, it's the ultimate escape. But what's it really like when the party's over and you actually have to live there? In this explainer, we're going to peel back all that glitter and take a look at the city through the eyes of a resident, YouTuber, Travel Ruby.
And this quote, man, it hits the nail right on the head. One of her subscribers asked if living in Vegas is just like being on a permanent vacation, and her answer was a quick, definite no. And that's the tension we're going to explore today, the fantasy of Vegas versus the reality of day-to-day life.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with that famous Vegas facade. Then we'll get into a guide for the savvy visitor who wants to beat the system. From there, we dive deep into what it's like to be a resident, the good and the bad. We'll even see what it takes to put down roots by following a massive home renovation. And finally, we'll look at how the only thing you can count on in this city is change.
Right, so let's kick things off with that image we all know. Vegas as the ultimate playground where the normal rules just don't apply. But what happens when that playground becomes your office?
This is where it gets real. Ruby talks about being right there on the strip, surrounded by all that incredible energy and glamour. But her mind is somewhere else completely. She's thinking, oh, I forgot to pull the chicken for dinner tonight, or wondering if she accidentally locked her cats in a closet. Your real-life brain just crashes the vacation party, and you know what? That changes everything.
Okay, so before we dive into the full-on resident experience, let's peel back that first layer of reality. How to navigate Vegas like a smart tourist. Because, trust me, if you don't know the tricks, this city is basically designed to separate you from your money and fast.
$7 for a plain black coffee. Seriously. And that pretty much says it all, doesn't it? That's exactly why you absolutely need to know a few money-saving hacks before you even think about visiting.
So how do you save some serious cash on hotels? Listen up, because this is the big one. It's all about booking directly with the hotel. Why? Because that unlocks the single greatest hack there is, checking the rates after you've already booked. Ruby has saved literally thousands of dollars by just checking the price every single day. If it drops, she just calls them up and they adjust it. You just can't do that with most of those third-party sites.
And look, the savings don't stop at the hotel room. Let's talk food. A little bit of planning here goes a long, long way. Grabbing your water and snacks from a CVS or Walgreens instead of the hotel gift shop, that's a total game changer. Hitting up happy hours, sharing those giant portions you get at places like Peppermill, or just grabbing a cheap sandwich for lunch, it means you can save your money for that incredible steakhouse dinner you've really came for.
All right, we've covered the visitor hacks. But what happens when you're not just visiting? What's the daily grind actually like? This is where that shiny veneer really starts to crack, and we get to see the real pros and cons of living in the entertainment capital of the world.
And this right here is one of the craziest things about getting around Vegas. On one hand, the city layout is brilliant. Almost anything you need, the airport, Henderson, Summerlin, it's all maybe a 15-20-minute drive. The problem? That drive can be an absolute nightmare. Ruby calls it a lethal combination of people not paying attention and aggressive drivers who treat the highway like their own personal racetrack.
And that crazy driving, it hits you right in the wallet. Just look at these numbers. This is what happened to Ruby's insurance premium for a single car. It started at $150 a month, which was already kind of high. 6 months later, $220. A year in, a shocking $330 a month. And that's with a perfect driving record. That number alone tells you everything you need to know about how dangerous those roads are.
Now here's another huge trade-off. Financially, having no state income tax is a massive, massive win. Especially if you're self-employed and already paying higher taxes, it's a huge draw. But the flip side is the healthcare system, which, as Ruby found out, can be pretty terrifyingly bad.
And when I say the healthcare can be a problem, I'm not exaggerating. It can be genuinely scary. When Ruby's husband was having serious issues with his mobility, he went to his primary care doctor for help. And the doctor's response? Sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. No advice, no referral, nothing. It's a quote that really just highlights a massive, dangerous gap in the system.
And of course, there are the other daily realities too. You know, there's a joke that the state flower is the construction cone, and it's true. Projects start and then just stop, half finished. The internet can be frustratingly old school with no fiber in a lot of places. And like a lot of big cities, homelessness is a real and visible issue. And then there's the weather, which, depending on how you feel about 100-degree days, could be the best or the absolute worst thing about living there.
So what does it really take to commit to Vegas?
to actually put down some roots. We're going to use Ruby's experience buying and completely gutting a house as a case study in the ultimate myth versus reality showdown.
So first things first, let's talk about a key player in this story. Ruby and her husband hired a general contractor. Now, it does cost more, but for a huge project like this, it's basically a layer of security. They're licensed, they're insured, and they manage all the different workers, which is so important when you're tearing out an entire kitchen and multiple bathrooms.
Okay, if you have ever binged one of those home renovation shows, you need to see this. This is the reality check. Week 2, boom, unexpected plumbing inside the walls. Week 4, turns out the flooring they picked isn't going to work, so they have to make a costly change. And by week 10, just getting the new floor in becomes a 3-week project all by itself. This isn't a neat, tidy 30-minute episode. It's a slow, unpredictable, messy grind.
And all that chaos really just hammers home Ruby's main point. It's nothing like you see on TV. Those shows are so misleading. The reality isn't clean and organized. She says the whole time it just felt like a bomb went off. It's such a powerful reminder of the huge gap between what we see on screen and what people actually go through.
Okay, so for our last section, let's zoom all the way out. The reality of Las Vegas isn't just one single thing, because the city itself is never, ever static. It is constantly tearing down the old to build something new. And you know what? That constant state of change is its true identity.
This slide just captures that churn perfectly. Iconic things like the Mirage Volcano and the Tropicana Hotel, gone. And in their place, the Hard Rock Guitar Tower and a proposed baseball stadium are coming. Restaurants you love close, new ones open, day clubs get a whole new name and look. It's a city that is constantly reinventing itself, literally right before your eyes.
And this constant change isn't just about losing the old stuff. It's about this explosion of everything new. We're seeing a flood of celebrity chef restaurants, massive renovations at classic spots like El Cortez, and of course, absolute game changers like the Sphere. And at the same time, food halls are popping up, and the arts district is just blooming into this incredible destination. The city is always adding new layers to explore.
So, where does that leave us? After peeling back all these layers, what is Las Vegas really? Is it just a place for a weekend escape? A carefully built fantasy? Or is it something more? A complex, challenging, and always changing city where you can actually build a real life? The answer, it seems, is it's a little bit of both.